Good morning, everybody. Bonjour. Welcome to Felony First Appearance Hearings. I am Judge Mindy Glazer. I will be presiding today the video for first appearance hearings.
If you look closely, you will see Donna Adelson. After a jury convicted her son Charles Adelson of hiring hitmen to kill Dan Markel in Tallahassee, Donna Adelson made plans to move from South Florida to the country of Vietnam, a country that does not have an extradition treaty with the United States. Why move to Vietnam? Well, you see, at her son's trial, prosecutors presented evidence suggesting that Donna Adelson was also involved in the plot to murder her former son-in-law. After Charles Adelson was convicted, the lead prosecutor, Georgia Kappelman, was asked if other members of the Adelson family would also be charged in connection with the murder. Her response was,
I don't know the answer to that question yet. So stay tuned.
So, as soon as her son was convicted, Donna began working on Plan B, fleeing to Vietnam with her husband, Harvey. She even discussed those plans on the phone with her son, Charles, during several recorded and monitored jail calls. Unluckily for her, law enforcement was paying attention, and on Monday, November 13, 2023, the same day when Donna and Harvey were scheduled to get on Emirates flight EK0214 in Miami, Judge Stephen Everett, who had presided over her son's trial, signed an arrest warrant for Donna that was filed with the clerk at 5:45 p.m., less than 3 hours before the flight's scheduled departure time. However, the FBI moved quickly, and Donna was apprehended at the Miami International Airport before she was able to board the airplane and take off to Vietnam.
A side note, fittingly, Judge Glazer has gone viral before, a few years ago while also handling felony first appearances in Miami-Dade. Judge Glazer ran into a defendant who was a middle school classmate of hers.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh my goodness.
So it is only fitting that Judge Glazer would preside over the first appearance in this case that has also gone viral. So here's Donna Adelson wearing a self-harm prevention suit, waiting for her turn to appear before Judge Glazer with her soon-to-be jailmates.
Good morning, everybody. Bonjour. Welcome to Felony First Appearance Hearings. I am Judge Mindy Glazer. I will be presiding today the video for first appearance hearings has been made to all defendants. Oh, thank you, Tony. I got something for you when you come in here, okay? Anyway, let's get started. I need everybody to please stand up, raise your right hand, and be sworn in by our clerk.
Necesito que todos se coloquen de pie, por favor, para prestar juramento.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth I do?
Jurano declara solemnemente que la declaración que están por dar será la verdad y nada más que la verdad, digan lo juro.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Gracias, por favor, tomen asiento.
Madam Interpreter, raise your right hand.
Yes.
Swear that you will faithfully interpret from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, the questions asked and answered given to your best ability and such abilities.
I do. Patricia Parra, certified court interpreter, for the record.
Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
I will be appointing the Public Defender's Office to represent all of the defendants on the in-state extradition cases as well as the felony cases, unless you tell me that you have hired a private lawyer or unless I determine you have the financial ability to pay for a private lawyer.
Bien, estaré nombrando al abogado de oficio para que les represente en los casos de extradición, así como casos de delitos mayores, a menos que usted me diga que ha contratado a abogado particular o yo determine que tiene la capacidad financiera de pagar por un abogado.
And please make sure that you keep all of your future court dates. Your arraignment will be in 30 days if you're out of jail, and you must go to court, otherwise your division judge will issue an order for your arrest.
Y por favor, asegúrese de mantener todas sus fechas en el tribunal. La lectura oficial de sus cargos será en 30 días. Si está fuera de la cárcel, debe asistir a la audiencia. De otra manera, el juez les pedirá orden de arresto.
Okay, and if there's anybody on Zoom who wants a case called out of turn, please type the defendant's name in the chat room.
Si alguien que se encuentra conectado a través de Zoom quiere que se le llame su caso fuera de turno, por favor escriba el nombre del acusado en el chat.
Right, this is an announcement for people on the extradition calendar, the out-of-state warrants. I don't need the interpreter. If you're here for an out-of-state warrant, you need to tell me if you want to waive or contest extradition. A waiver is the quickest way out of this jail. The demanding state will have up to 30 days to pick you up. They usually come and get you in 15 days. It's the quickest way out. The other choice you have is to contest extradition. That means you want to fight the arrest warrant. You're not fighting the charges, just a piece of paper that says you are wanted in that demanding state. A lawyer will be appointed for you if you cannot afford one, and your lawyer will be able to challenge the legal sufficiency of a governor's warrant. And one other thing, if you have a local case pending and you want to waive extradition, the 15 days for the demanding state to pick you up doesn't start until after all of your local cases are closed. Okay, let's get started now. Can the attorneys announce, please state?
Good morning, Your Honor. Eileen Keeley on behalf of the state.
Good morning.
Nessa Ath on behalf of the state.
Good morning.
Beth, Assistant Public Defender. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's begin. We have... She's been here like every day. That's why. I hope she doesn't come in with more cases.
I think the private attorney is present for Donna Adelson on the in-state fugitive warrant
Can you
calendar.
promote her? So I'll call that first. So calling up Donna Adelson is a private attorney.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And I apologize, it is an in-state warrant. I did write out of state.
You see, Ms. Descalzo was announced as Donna's lawyer a few weeks earlier in connection with Donna's efforts to avoid being interviewed by prosecutors in the lead-up to her son's trial. Ms. Descalzo objected to the state's investigatory subpoena, arguing that it did not confer use immunity to her client, Donna, and that her client wanted to preserve her constitutional right not to incriminate herself. The state moved to compel, claiming that Ms. Descalzo provided no legal authorities in support of her arguments. At the beginning of the hearing, Judge Everett scolded Ms. Descalzo for not revealing in her filings direct legal authority that contradicted her position. Judge Everett swiftly granted the state's motion to compel, but in the end, the attorneys worked things out, and in exchange for a guarantee that neither Donna or Harvey would testify at their son's trial, the interviews were canceled.
Marisol Descalzo on behalf of Harvey and Donna Adelson.
We're here this morning on the state's order to show cause. Ms. Descalzo, I also have received your motion to dismiss and answer to the order to show cause. Procedurally, I believe it is. We do need to address your pleading first. However, there are some things that I wish to point out before you make any arguments. Mr. Descalzo, you understand under the rules of professional conduct, you have to be candid with the tribunal and disclose all adverse legal authority to your position.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware of the case of State versus Bellador, and that's found at 96 Southern 3rd, 993?
Your Honor, if it was not cited in my pleading, I am not aware. I recognize that there are cases that state that Florida Statute 914.04 is constitutional, and I cited those in footnote 3 of my motion, but I'm not sure what Bellador goes to.
Bellador goes specifically to what your motion to dismiss argues, that a party who has received immunity from the state may still be subject to federal prosecution. In Bellador specifically, the circuit court did not grant the state's order to show cause. The state sought a writ of certiorari, and the 3rd District Court granted the writ on the basis that the immunity that is extended by the state extends to other prospective prosecuting authorities, including the federal authorities, and cites to a United States Supreme Court case from 1964, which stands for the same proposition. In effect, with your motion to dismiss, you're arguing against a statute, Florida appellate law, and the United States Supreme Court. What is your basis in fact or law to make this argument?
So let's see if Mr. Descalzo does any better this time around, considering that this is a very simple proceeding.
She's been here like every day. That's why. I hope she doesn't come in with more cases.
I think the private attorney is present for Donna Adelson on the in-state fugitive warrant
Can you
calendar.
promote her? So I'll call that first. So calling up Donna Adelson is a private attorney.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And I apologize, it is an in-state warrant. I did write out-of-state.
That's okay. We have a busy calendar today, so.
You do.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you were arrested on a warrant from Leon County, Florida. The charges are public order crimes. It says attempted solicitation, conspiracy to commit a capital felony, homicide, willful, it says homicide, maybe attempted homicide, I'm sorry. Attempted solicitation or conspiracy to commit homicide. It looks like 2 counts of that. So your attorney is here. Ms. Delcaso, anything you want to say?
Good morning, Your Honor. Marisol Descalzo on behalf of Donna Adelson. We are going to waive extradition.
Wait, Mrs. Descalzo, this is an in-state arrest warrant. You must be confused. Miami is still part of Florida, and your client never made it out of the country, so you don't need to waive extradition. Well, we will let Judge Glazer explain it all to you.
Okay. We have a busy calendar today, so.
You do.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you were arrested on a warrant from Leon County, Florida. The charges are public order crimes. It says attempted solicitation, conspiracy to commit a capital felony, homicide, willful, it says homicide, maybe attempted homicide, I'm sorry. Attempted solicitation or conspiracy to commit homicide. It looks like 2 counts of that. So your attorney is here. Ms. Delcaso, anything you want to say?
Good morning, Your Honor. Marisol Descalzo on behalf of Donna Adelson. We are going to waive extradition to
You don't have to
Leon
wait
County.
for an in-state. It's an in-state warrant, which means, so basically you have a warrant from Leon County. It sounds like really serious charges. They have up to 15 days to come and pick you up. The reset date here is November 29th to make sure you get picked up. So, Ms. Delcazo, what you can do is reach out to Leon County, the prosecutor's office there, and see if they'll agree to a bond. If they do agree to a bond, you're welcome to contact Ms. F. She can send you a sample order we use, and with that order, we can sign it.
I think it's unlikely there's going to be an agreement.
I don't know. It's a solicitation case. Anyway. Okay. So you want to hear something funny though? She looks like a lady that was on my airplane yesterday. Mm-hmm. Did you come in from Paris? No?
I did not.
She looked. No, your client did. She looks like a lady who was on the airplane with me for real.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry that was on my airplane yesterday. Mm-hmm. Did you come in from Paris? No?
I did not.
She looked. No, your client did. She looks like a lady who was on the airplane with me for real.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry you're going through all this. They have 15 days to pick you up. The reset date's November 29th. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it for that. Okay. Anyway, let's go. Jeremy James.
James is present.
Good morning. Sir, you were arrested on a warrant from Broward County. The warrant was issued on...
So Donna will be escorted up to Tallahassee as soon as she gets ready to face the music for her alleged role in that sinister murder plot that killed her former son-in-law, Dan Markel. I want to bring in my guest now. He is a trial attorney and former prosecutor, James Waksuski. James, good morning to you. James is joining us by phone. He practices law in Tallahassee. James, first of all, thank you for joining us. And in terms of what happened with Donna Adelson, I think many of us expected this to happen. Your thoughts on the strength of the case that the state has brought against her?
Well, obviously, it has become, first of all, hi, Julie. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I think, obviously, the case has become much stronger against both Charles Adelson and Donna because of her actions in the last couple of days. The fact that she made a phone call to her son, and it was a recorded line in the jail that discusses her plans after the conviction of her son. So the day after, she talked to her son on the phone while he was here in Leon County Jail, and they discussed what she was going to do as a result of the conviction, as a result of the fact that the family's plan to get away with this murder and to save face with those two boys by pretending that they were victims of the same people that killed Dan Markel. When that failed, she became desperate. And so, to me, I loved your opening statement, and I'd like to add a couple of points.
Thank you,
Number
James.
one, murder doesn't buy happiness. And
right.
Number two, murder affects the mental health of the person involved in this. And in this case, what it has shown is that you have very intelligent people that have made very silly mistakes. This includes Wendy talking to Jeffrey Lacasse about the murder plot and about the fact that her brother had looked into hiring a hitman just days before the murder, which makes me assume that she at least at a very minimum knew about what was about to happen and that was weighing heavily on her mind. You have Charlie, after all this arrest and the release of the probable cause affidavit, before Amy Adelson was arrested, making statements to friends like Ryan Fitzpatrick, telling him, oh, if you don't talk, you can get away with murder. That statement makes him unlikely to get away with murder and was one of the reasons why he was convicted. And now you have Donna, who obviously made the biggest mistake of all, because now she sunk any chances that she will win a trial. And if her son ever gets a retrial, this evidence is going to be used against him as well.
Oh, that's a great point, James. That's a really great point. And you've served as a prosecutor. You certainly know the drill very well. You've been in the trenches. You've tried tough cases. And now with this one, it's been one of those unusual cases where it seems that law enforcement has kind of had to go for the low-hanging fruit first, so to speak. You know, these people who were willing to get their hands dirty. To me, these Adelsons, it seems to me like they didn't want to get their hands dirty, so they tried to remove themselves from the crime by putting money in the middle. But slowly but surely, those wheels of justice just keep on turning. I'm curious, James, if you think that there are some other Adelsons who are going to be charged too, because I did think Donna would be next. I really did. I thought Donna, and I thought, oh, Wendy's a close second, so I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop. Your thoughts on Wendy and Harvey? Do you think law enforcement will eventually get all of the Adelsons on this?
Sure. I think that definitely on Harvey, they have solid evidence of him at a minimum as an accessory after the fact. And one of the themes at the trial was that the murder for hire plot and the murder of Dan Markel was a birthday gift for Harvey. So that kind of goes against the possibility that he was involved before the murder, and suggests that later he found out that it was his family that did it for him, perhaps, or at least that was what they were telling themselves, that they were doing it for Harvey, because I think this was obviously done primarily for Donna. But so at a minimum, they have some evidence against Harvey to charge him as an accessory after the fact for hiding this whole conspiracy.
James,
but,
appreciate
Wendy, sure, but
Please.
for Wendy, I actually have done a deep dive into this case already for several years. And back in 2020, I actually did a video where I discussed the top 20 reasons why I believe she was involved. Now, the evidence against Wendy is not as conclusive as the others. I think Georgia Kaplan during the jury selection used an example of how circumstantial evidence can even be stronger than direct evidence. And she used an example of the mom arriving home, and there were two kids, and there was a box of sugared donuts that was empty, and the two kids had powdered sugar on their face and on their hands. And so obviously, even though each one of them said it was the other, the mom could tell that both of them had their hands on those donuts.
Right.
And ate donuts. So when it comes to this case, if you use the same analogy, I think that obviously Charles and Donna have a lot of sugar all over their face and on those sticky fingers.
Yes.
And it's a lot.
Yes.
But Wendy has some, but maybe not as much. You know, maybe she was a little bit more careful when she took a bite of that donut and didn't get so dirty.
So we had trace evidence of the powdered sugar on her face,
Yes.
right? Oh yeah.
So it would be a more difficult case, but I think that they, you know, if they wanted to, they could charge.
Right. I mean, I'm glad to hear you say that, James, because you practice in this jurisdiction. You know Florida law. You know, I've been a prosecutor. It was in Pennsylvania where I was a prosecutor, and I've said all along, I believe there's enough evidence to charge all three of them based on my experience in education. And so I'm glad to hear it from you, someone who is licensed in that state and who has researched this case extensively. James Wegsuski, we have to say goodbye to you, but please come back. We'd love to hear you talk more about what you shared in that video about Wendy Adelson. We're going to be all over this one on Mom Donna as it continues to progress in the system. Thank you so much. Take good care.
And thank you for having me.
Of course.
October 27th of 2023.
All rise, court's now in session. The Honorable Jason Jones presiding.
The attorneys can please announce themselves for the record.
Douglas Office in Florida.
Pam Personnel with the Public Defender's Office.
So it looks like we have Ms. Donna Adelson in the chair. Good morning, Ms. Adelson. This is Judge Jones. You are here at first appearance on case number 2023 CF 3226. You are charged with 1 count of murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder, and 1 count of solicitation to commit murder. I see that we have your attorney with us here on Zoom. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marisol Descalzo on behalf of Donna Adelson.
Good morning, Ms. Descalzo. So this was an arrest that was done by warrant. PC has already been found. I have reviewed the PC warrant. State, what is your recommendation for bond?
I believe this is a grand jury indictment, Judge. The true bill indicated there was a no bond on count 1. Murder in first degree, $25,000 bonds set on counts 2 and 3. Obviously, no contact with the victim's family. No contact, I suspect, also with co-defendants previously charged by the state or witnesses listed in the probable cause affidavit.
Mr. Scalzo?
Your Honor, we would stipulate to no bond at this time without prejudice and the right to revisit with Judge Everett, which is the judge assigned to the case.
All right, so Ms. Adelson, at this time you're being held with no bond on count 1. All right, so Ms. Adelson, at this time you're being held with no bond on count 1. Your bond will remain $25,000 on count 2 and $25,000 on count 3. As a condition of your bond, you'd have no contact with the victim's family, you'd have no contact with any co-defendants, and no contact with any witnesses that are listed in the probable cause affidavit. Do you understand those conditions?
I do, Your Honor.
That's it for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's it.
Mr. Akbar, if you can remind me who you're here for.
I can hear nothing. That's my thing.
They call me a god. They call me a god.
Thanks for watching and thank you for all your support.
Thank you so much for 100,000 subs.